Alright folks, welcome back. Game number 1 in a brand new best of 3. We've been sitting and waiting for a little bit of time, but that's okay, because we got to do some fun stuff. Just hanging out. I'm lying, it was boring and it sucked. And I'm really glad we're finally in the game. In the top left side of Frozen Temple to kick off this series, it's going to be Team Liquid's Blue Zerg, TLO.
In the bottom right of the red Protoss, it's Team Liquid's MaNa.
Alright, now, MaNa actually going to be walling up down here on the low ground. We'll talk more on this in a moment because of the very interesting way in which he's chosen to do it. But we did just get another $10 donation coming from Funny Colors, who says, make it blue, but not because it's my favorite, but white is really not going to work with your skin tone. Also, the thing about the engine going, I expect Rifkin to read all. What?
I expect you to read all that.
Oh, well,
I don't know about the engine. That's a mystery, but bro, I don't think anything's gonna work with anything. And how do you even know what my skin tone looks like? Like, the camera is not exactly like amazing. People think I have flawless skin, and I can tell you that's not true.
Okay, so apparently blue is much ahead at 3. Well, with that donation, gonna be 406 actually.
Jeez.
Because I did the math wrong earlier, and everyone's giving me shit for it. But see, this is what's great. I got stream to back me up for when I make goofs and gaffs. At least in this instance. But, let me go update that. That's been fixed. Alright, so as we continue on in this game, MaNa putting the pylon back here. It's worth noting the rocks were moved back a little bit lately. So I guess this is enough to make a nice, sick Protoss. While I do believe that's a gap at the top, so you should still be able to transfer probes and adepts through if necessary. But regardless of all that for a moment, last time we saw MaNa, last time we saw him play versus Zerg specifically, it was versus Snoot in the Ting Open, and he said very blatantly, like, he did this thing where he wasn't really playing versus Zerg, and he's playing versus Snoot, and that's how he won. And I'm wondering if he's going to be able to pull that off again here versus TLO.
Incoming transmission.
Like, does he just know TLO's playstyle well enough that he can just hard counter it without trying?
I don't know about that. I guess we'll see as this game continues. A little bit of gap as he messes up that probe timing, but the Lings really didn't do very much there. In fact, they didn't even really get a scout, and there's actually quite a few of them that could have been worse. But I feel like it's you know, that was before the whole shift in the meta. With now we see a lot of Baneling busts, Ling all lanes that turn into Baneling busts, Hydra Baneling busts, like. All of that basically with Banelings.
Yeah.
So that might be something new that MaNa like doesn't have confidence dealing with, or maybe he has actually a lot of confidence dealing with. I don't know. We haven't seen him since that change, and it's apparently not going to see it here either as TLO gets a Roachborn.
We got a $16 donation coming from Anubis Shades, or Anubis X Hades. Oh my god, have I been reading this wrong this whole time? God, I think I haven't. All right. Well, Anubis X Hades would make more sense.
He's never corrected you.
Good guy. He just knows I'm going to hell, and he'll have his way with me down there. $16.01. Not sure if the cents are being counted. It's not. But put it all on white. So that brings white up to... Okay, so it was 370, guys. Check my math here. Now it should be 386.
Amazing.
And not 1 cent.
It's a great drive.
All right, so it's worth noting that MaNa is streaming his own games. I guess we forgot to introduce this as well. And if you are going to watch his stream, have a good time. But remember, he's probably not using a delay, and we are. So please do not bring spoilers back to the channel. Now, Teal is really laying it on thick here. This is a lot of Lings coming out. And this is not a lot of Lings hitting a third base or finding an opening in that wall. There's no Overlords ready to drop on in. So I don't really know what he plans to do with this many. I guess really just hit him hard with break the wall and hope the all-in follow-up works?
I think that it might. The roaches break the wall, the Lings flood in, and hopefully they never can replant the wall, so we get some serious damage.
Force field
yeah, definitely. So no Ravagers were made quite yet, but they might be. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of gas, so I guess this is actually just very plain, like, damn, Howard of the Swarm type of roach Ling all-in with Liberty even.
MaNa's really close to getting Immortals out, and the Lings, truthfully, aren't that scary. There's not enough of them yet. But the Immortals will certainly chew through those roaches like nobody's business. Force field misses a little bit, so unfortunate for MaNa. He's going to have to deal with units at the top of the ramp. Tries to get a Zealot in on top of this. Really just not a lot of gateways to work with for this. He's got about 600 minerals in the bank, and he might die with that much money.
Oh, that never feels very good, but it might just happen here. This Mothership Core, of course, getting a lot of free damage, but she doesn't have any more Photon Overcharge.
Oh, I love this. Probes actually
Really
hold the
counts.
roaches in place so the Immortal can get the shots it needs to actually kill them. But unfortunately, with the barrier being down, the Lings surrounding it, this isn't looking good for MaNa. He's out of steam. GG. So maybe I should have asked that the other way around. Maybe TLO knows MaNa well enough and is just going to be playing counter to MaNa. And not the other way, but all right, that's game number 1. Second map's going to be Dusk Towers, he whispered me.
Okay, that was very quick.
All right, so we'll get that going. We're going to hop to that ASAP. We'll hold the ad break for after, guys. But Showtime does advance over Guru, by the way. And if a laser beats Kanji like I would expect, Showtime and a laser for that first semifinals is going to be sick. Hydra currently plays against Keen, and the winner of that will play against the winner of this series. But we will be casting both of the semifinals, so don't worry, you won't miss either. Mr. Turtle, just reset for 3 months. Thank you kindly. And just that reminder that this tournament is brought to you guys through Matcherino. So it's a crowdfunding website. If you don't know how it works, you can donate a couple of bucks over there safely. We've been doing this for almost half a year with them, on and off with show matches and big events. And it's more than safe to say that money will get to the players. But Dust Towers is coming in. We'll see you soon. All right, game number 2 in this best of 3 for the Matcherino Cup. Spunny in the top right corner of the map. He really just caught his opponent with his pants down, overwhelmed, and won game number 1. It's going to be the Blue Zerg player, Team Liquid's TLO.
In the bottom left as the red Protoss, it's Liquid MaNa.
Now, MaNa has won one of the in fact, I think he won our very first Matcherino Cup. If not the first, then the second, but he has won quite a bit of money through Matcherino so far. It is a bit sad to say that this is not quite that semifinals round yet, though, so if he wants to get a little more money, he does need to at least make it one more round into the tournament. That being said, though, it would certainly be interesting to see TLO advance to the semifinals as well, as I feel we don't seem to... Like, TLO does really well when it comes to bigger qualifiers. Unfortunately, not recently. I do believe he was actually not able to get through DreamHack for tours, so that's a little bit sad. But if it means he's playing in more weekly cups, it makes me happy at least.
Yeah, he has just kind of been, unfortunately, as many others have in the past, with any WCS system. Just, you know, there's no tournaments to practice for now, so it's all going to be online cups for him, which isn't, you know, it's not a bad thing for us.
When's the next IEM? It's going to be like StarCraft stuff.
Has it been announced? I don't know if they have like a list.
Right, because I was just thinking, I know we got Tour, like DreamHack Tour is like the next big thing after Austin, and then it just feels like there's a gap of not knowing what's after.
I'm sure they'll announce another IEM soon, but I'm not sure. IEM Toronto right before DreamHack Montreal.
I was going through old photos on the computer, and I found one where we were casting, and I had screenshotted some stupid copy pasta in chat, but most importantly, I noted, I was like, IEM qualifier NA, and it's like 7K viewers. I'm like, man, womp womp. Those are the days.
Good times. Oh, hey, Keen beat Hydra, so...
Wow, really?
Terran Hope's still alive. Or, sorry, not Hydra. I'm sorry. Keen beat Revolver to go on to face Hydra. So Terran Hope's still alive, although not for long.
Kind of figured that would, that would happen. Damn. You got me excited for the Hydra part, though. That'll be interesting. Quick shoutouts goes towards Super Serial. He donates, or he or she, excuse me, donates $20 and says, "You don't hear this enough. Thanks for being a critical piece of the active StarCraft 2 community. This game wouldn't be anywhere near as successful without you all." I want to thank you very much for that. I have a video that I didn't end up releasing, just being a little bit grumpy the other day after that whole mess, and words like that, more so than the actual dollar value, are sometimes really necessary, so thank you for that. But I want to also kind of take and transform that a bit too, because BaseTradeTV wouldn't be successful without you guys either. We'd just be a couple of nerds talking about StarCraft and nobody, so thank you guys for watching. I mean, for fuck's sake, we have the donations for the prize pool going up to like $300 today, all thanks to you guys, so just a blanket thank you first off to Super Zero for the $20. Thank you, Terminator, for the $50. I'll read that message in a moment. Ooh. But just, again, I tweeted about it before we even got into the cast today. I love our fan base. You guys make things so much more fucking awesome. But $50 says blue. Oh, this is like, I see where this is going already. Blue. Blue never changes. Since the dawn of hair, when our ancestors discovered the dying power of ink and water, hair has been colored in the name of everything, from style to boredom to simple. Crazy fundraising. It has been crazy fundraising. We need to dye your hair more often, man. I mean, for every time I got bonked with that goddamn hammer and you didn't, I really hope you get a terrible hair color.
Whatever, man. Watch me just like totally work with the hair color, and I look fucking baller.
I'll make this work.
I will make it work. I will cut my hair in any
You know what's
shape
ridiculous?
possible to make this work.
It's not like a jealousy thing, obviously, or anything like that. But I hate girls who can just like make anything look good, because you're like, well, the shirt doesn't look good. You make it look good. Oh, whatever. Same with hairstyles.
That's like 90% of stuff you find in clothing stores.
Yeah, very true. But also thank you JWrath1 and Dinwit for the resubs accordingly. But now we get the game starting to finally pick up. So TLO having taken his third base as early as he did, this is nothing really crazy. I do like that he's putting down the additional spore crawlers, because more lately than ever we've been seeing heavier Phoenix builds become part of the game. But MaNa's only got about 5 so far.
Yeah. He does not go into Double Stargate Phoenix, but I am recalling all those games with Double Stargate.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Like yesterday's game, which was pretty baller. So, he does go for first double robo, though.
You should read this one.
Great. Okay, so Riamar donated $5 and says, I am the real Riamar. My heart is big, but my butt is bigger. Put it all on white.
I feel like I don't know if that's really Riamar. Mostly because
I don't think it is.
It didn't just say hi in the message, but also because of the butt part.
He's like not in chat, and you know, he's here. He's usually here.
I love that, like, too. It's like, oh, I'm the real Riamar. Don't doubt it. Just go with it.
That's a normal thing that Riamar will say.
That's a normal thing anybody would say. I mean, just especially out of the blue, no context, for sure. TLO though, pulling what TLO does best and doing something a little bit interesting. He's gone for burrow while this goes on. He's gone for a fast infestation pit, so the infestors can burrow under the ground safely from the Phoenix not being detected. But I also like the potential of just burrowing banelings.
I imagine a situation where it's okay. Hear me out. Combo.
Okay.
Burrowed banelings.
Yeah.
Then you fungal when they're on the burrowed banelings, and then you explode the burrowed banelings.
Okay.
That would be good.
That sounds really sick. Counterpoint. I think you could do all that without the fungal part.
Yeah, but you know that's just gonna add on even more. That's the whole point. That's why it's a little bit more complicated.
So what you're saying is the 30 damage from the fungal growth is going to be valuable to the like 80 damage overkill that banelings do.
It ensures that you get the heart of the army. You know, if you don't fungal, maybe they walk forward a little bit and you end up.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I know it sounds like I'm being contradictory. I'm with you on this.
Yeah, of course you are, because we never disagree with each other.
Never, not on anything.
Couldn't even keep a straight face. Okay, so...
Well, that's being a bit judgy. You can be whatever you like nowadays. The pride
straight
parades and everything.
For straight faces? Just a bunch of people.
So you got a bad case of resting straight face.
Just going through the streets. Straight faces need rights too.
Okay, so we got Hive on the way. We got Lurker Den on the way. TLO's really just getting his grab bag of goodies ready to go. The Observer for MaNa is probably going to get picked off, but I love that there's these burrowed infestors just kind of walking around. They're safe from the Phoenix. They don't get harassed. They don't get picked off. He's burrowed Lings out here as well, not because he's looking for sneak attacks, but so he can easily see when MaNa moves out.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, thanks to Striker81 for being a new sub.
New sub hype.
Second of all, I love the burrowed lings. I talked about this before, and people brought up the legitimate points as why you wouldn't want to burrow a ling if you're scouting around the map, because it does reduce your vision and doesn't alert you if it gets attacked. But I like seeing this. And then third, we have Neuroparasite, which TLO was experimenting with, like I'll say, like a month and a half ago or something like that. So before the Baneling thing really happened, that's like changed his mind, but he is looking to use it in this game. And I think he's going to get an opportunity because MaNa's not pushing out. It's not like going to kill him before he gets to, well, apparently Lurkers, Brood Lords, Neuroparasite.
Well, so here's the aspect of Neuroparasite that I think is really cool. First off, the Infestors were made so early, they're going to actually be full energy and have the ability to do Neuroparasite. But kind of like the same way Phoenix lift up a unit just to crowd control it and remove it from the fight. You know, it's hard to kill an Immortal. It's got like what, 300 base health with the shields and armor, then 200 from the barrier. if you neuroparasite this, it might not kill it, but it removes it from the fight, and one more step further, it actually takes it and puts it under your control. So even if it fires just 1 or 2 shots, you've already done a bit of extra damage. But with so many feedbacks around, it's going to be kind of hard to actually pull that off. Neuroparasite, though, is worth noting, has range. It didn't for a while. It got nerfed. It was like basically a melee spell. Now you can actually cast it from an admirable distance. I think it's like 9, I want to say. I don't actually know off the top of my head, but you can actually get it from far enough away that you're not in danger of losing the Infestor right away.
Yeah, right away, right?
Also, Archons. I keep forgetting. You can neural Archons. I thought they had done something for a while where you couldn't neural other psionic units.
That sounds like that would have been like a beta, so I don't know about that, but oh no, cancel. The problem here for the Infestors are, of course, in those High Templars. If TLO or if MaNa realizes what's going on, he might use feedbacks instead of storms to really take out those Infestors. But I think storms are usually going to be like the #1 priority. They get storming on top of the Hydras, on top of the lurkers, that add a little bit more damage and whatnot. But all he does is clean up creep, clean up a 5th base, and then leave.
By the way, Striker, who just subbed to the channel, is apparently a man or woman with a heart of gold, asking if they can still donate to the prize pool. And yeah, whether it's $1, $5, whatever you're willing to spare, the Matcherino prize pool is open. It remains open until the tournament's done. So you can donate at any point, as much or as little as you'd like, to help increase the prize pool. And we, on behalf of the players, thank you for doing so. Now, this Observer is not going to get picked up. I don't actually think, despite having Broodlords, Lurkers, and Infestors, I don't think there's any Overseers. Oh, there's one, excuse me, as he comes to the front line now. But picking this off is going to be a pretty big deal because it will be the safety of all these units. I don't know if an Oracle ever got made, actually. There is one. This is going to be the best form of detection moving forward because of how easy it is to lose your Observers.
Well, apparently that Observer feels pretty safe. I got this. Oh, so much for those. Oh,
those were like the bullies in school. They hold them in place and the Templar are just punching them right in the gut. Now, the Templar all go down. I think the Baneling actually got to them as well. But the Broodlords pushing forward, they have no cover. There's no anti-air. So while the Phoenixes are not killing them quickly, they are going to kill them. So TLO has to push with this. The Tempest reveals itself as well. If he kills the cannons, if he kills a couple of Immortals, the Lurkers can continue to advance. Where is the detection, though, right now? That Oracle's got to come to the front line. It needs... Oh, there's some Observer. I take it back. He's fine. Got too excited for the Lurkers. TLO gives away a very expensive army, though, and so much of this hinged on having those Infestors get something done, anything done. Having gotten picked up by the Phoenix, that was a great move out of MaNa.
Yeah, well, MaNa just pulling back was also a great move, mind you. Like, in the initial attack that he did, it looked like he could have probably had a little bit more momentum. He pulled back instead because he was already on his way to Tempest. It felt like almost not like really a bait, but like, oh, I am not prepared for Broodlords. Like, you better attack me now. Oh, psych, I got Tempest.
I know, it's kind of like where it was at. We have a question in chat, by the way, asking how fast do players get money from Matcherino? As soon as the tournament's done. Like, you guys have to understand, there's no, like, withholding process. Matcherino's basically that guy you met at the bar who neither of you are friends with. You bet your friend $20. You say, okay, you hold on to this and give it to the winner so that, we don't just welsh on the bet type thing.
Yeah. As long as the players, don't,
as long as they withdraw the money, they get it whenever they like.
And they withdraw the money, then they get it whenever. So.
That's what I really like about Matcherino, too. There's no, like, weird, like, okay, so why don't you have the money for them? Like... Alright, so this does not kill TLO outright, but the army... I'm not so much worried about the Immortals as I am the Archons in this, but the combination of the two is going to be a little too much, I think, to overcome, especially at such a supply deficit. The Corruptors aren't really adding anything to this, and MaNa will tie up the series 1-1.
Receiving incoming transmission.
I got a lot of math I got to do, so read out this donation really quick. Riomar donates $5.61 and says, hi, this is the real Riomar again. Just wanted to say hi. My butt is round and firm. Please put my money on white. Also, hi. I will say the roleplay here is so close, I almost fell for it. But another donation coming in from Miller Death Jr. says, big fan of BaseTradeTV. $25 big, by the way. Big fan of BaseTradeTV. Can you guys plug the TV show / comic book we're working on called Pitfall Paradise? We're all disabled U.S. veterans, so it'd be helping a good cause. People can look it up on Facebook and Twitter at Pitfall Paradise. I guess I'll try and link that in chat for you, sir. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching. Thanks for the donation, and good luck with your comic book. Prion Terraces is TLO's map pick. We're going to go to 2 minutes of ads, and we'll see you guys soon. Holy shit, Zombie Grub.
What's up?
Remember that new sub, Striker81?
I do.
They donated $100, 3 cents, or $103.49 to the prize pool.
Woohoo!
He actually fills the rest of the goal to make it exactly, like I love that 39 cents because we have that odd 1 cent, to make it exactly a $400 prize pool.
Oh, amazing.
That is fantastic. So guys, if you see Striker81 in chat, do me a favor, lay down some Tasia claps and drop some hearts. Thank you kindly for that, sir. Or madam. But also, that art that we plugged from that previous donation, Pitfall Paradise, was actually, we went to their Twitter during the break, and it was kind of legit. I would actually say check it out, guys. But okay, that being said, let's hop into this. Game number 3. Ace match time here in the round of 8. Winner of this goes on to the semifinals, where you will... I guess that donation from the prize pool comes in handy, as that's where the money for this goes. 4th and 3rd place now made worth $40 thanks to that recent donation, so that's pretty sick. In the bottom right side, though, he is, it was his map pick. It's going to be the Blue Zerg, Team Liquid's TLO.
In the top left, as the red Protoss. I almost said red-blue. It's the red Protoss. It is Liquid MaNa.
So when you do intros, I kind of in my head go along with you on it, right? Like as you say red, I'll think red, like that sort of thing. And when you stuttered for a moment, my brain went to Terran for some reason. When you were going to say blue, I would have said Terran.
Amazing. We're on almost equal wavelengths.
We just suck in
we
different
almost
ways.
finish each other's scent sandwiches.
We finish each other's sensible sandwiches.
Oh, a sandwich sounds good right now.
All right. So as we get into this, though, I mean, this is certainly a scary map for Protoss to have to play against a Zerg player on. It's not as bad as it used to be, though. We really did see a bunch of all-in Roach Ravager builds that just looked like they had no counter, that were in fact unstoppable for a time. And TLO, while I know for a fact he's capable of pulling something like that off, I also know that MaNa is good at deflecting that. We've actually seen him fall less and less, and it is those situations where MaNa has like 5 units to fight with that we've seen him play his strongest.
Yeah. It's the, the Super Saiyan moment that Terrans feel, and I guess Protosses are now feeling. I don't know about Zerg, honestly. Maybe a Zerg Super Saiyan moment.
Zerg Super Saiyan moment, I think, really comes from either... For me, at least, when you see the tech swaps, or alternatively, when you see that big swell of like 80 units in production. Like, you've been saving that larva up, you go for the remax, and you're like, boom, I just lost an army, let me come at you again with round 2, which is like 500 Lings, 400 Hydras.
That's not the same thing, though. Like, Super Saiyan, when I'm talking about it, is like when Terran has lost 2 bases, but they're like, you know what, I have 2 drops, so I'm going to make this game have a comeback. Or when Protoss is down to 5 units, and they're like, you know what, I lost my entire army, but I'm going to come back in this game.
I guess it does actually depend a little bit on how you see going Super Saiyan. Like, I can understand, like, making the most out of small amounts of units, and that's cool to see. For me, it's just like, where does the power play come? Like, that's what I think. Like, you've just powered up to, like, your full strength.
Okay, but I've always used Super Saiyan in regards to, like, Terran's micro to come back in a game, so whatever. I can see your point, too, I suppose.
Okay, but now that we've agreed on something, how do you pronounce GIF?
GIF.
Nope.
Yep.
Actually, I saw this funny comic recently that was kind of like how pronunciation wars go. And it's one person saying, I say root like route like grout. And the other guy's, well, sometimes I say root, it depends on the situation. And they both agree and move on. And they do this with a couple other words, but then it's like, how do you pronounce give? And then they're like at each other's throats ready to kill one another.
Before you really... Like, I knew about, like, the internet, like, haha, like, Reddit would, like, argue about it. But before you, I never cared, which is why I use them interchangeably.
I don't know.
Then
It's because, you know what, though?
butt.
It's funny, it's because of you that I started caring about it. The fact that you wouldn't stick to one. The fact that you were always swapping between the two.
I see, I think you had the real problem.
I don't know where the chicken or the egg is in this situation to even determine which came first. But alright, we got a Warp Prism heading out from... I hate you. We got a Warp Prism heading out from MaNa. But TLO's gone for Burrow. He's gone for movement speed on the very quick layer. And what I'm kind of curious about to see is if this will actually pair up with Tunneling Claws as well. We saw Burrow last game. Obviously, he doesn't need it. But with the Tunneling Claws would certainly help the units quite a bit. Banelings actually get wasted on the debt. And it doesn't even die. MaNa with that quick pickup.
I mean, the road just came anyway, but that was pretty cool. Oh well. So I guess like the question is what further can he really do? And the answer is, well, keep the Adepts alive as long as possible and continue to poke in, just at the very least keep half of TLO's army back. Because if
Yeah.
TLO's planning on an attack, I mean, MaNa doesn't want to deal with that yet.
So, by the way, we got some lamenting woes in chat about lack of Terran. If you guys missed it, the last Matcherino Cup we hosted was actually a TVT finals, and Bunny won. So
Yeah.
this week might not be Terran, but we've certainly had our fair share of Terran recently. And believe me, from probably being the most vocal ZvZ whiner of all, I'm very happy even with just PvZ. The
Oh, yeah.
landscape of player variety has certainly been a bit, we'll say, tilted and one-sided towards Zerg, but we're starting to see more and more Protosses and Terrans, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, a little bit. And Keen is still in.
Yeah, Keen's still playing against Hydra. We don't know the results of that yet, and I think actually it was Keen versus Bunny in the finals, so Keen very well may get there again.
Maybe. But all right, so I mentioned like not a minute ago that if the TLO is planning on attacking, then MaNa doesn't really want to deal with that yet. And that's where the Adepts bringing back at least a portion of the army or making TLO rethink an attack would be very, very helpful. But MaNa does have the appropriate units, of course. He's got like the Immortals. In fact, Double Robo bumping out 2 more Immortals here is going to really help out. A couple of force fields go down too. And note that MaNa didn't take that greedy third base, so he actually had a little bit of SimCity to abuse or force field area to abuse, but actually TLO mostly pushes past that, and that's, I think he has 2 more force fields available. It could be pretty clutch.
But this is, it's getting close to that overwhelming amount of just like insufferable. Can you deal with it? MaNa is getting close to what we've been calling Super Saiyan mode, whatever you want to refer to it though, because these 3 Immortals, those couple of sentries, like they just beat back an army that was doubling the supply. Now it's not over yet. He's still got a little bit more to go, but 2 Immortals at a time, opposed to the 1 he was producing before, is certainly production to deal with this.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, the point is, like, he hasn't lost his Nexus yet, but it is that range that, like, you could just focus fire, and, yeah, Corrosive Violet, and there it does go down. So was losing out on the army for TLO and any further upgrades for him worth killing that 3rd Nexus? Oh,
with MaNa giving a counter chase, I don't think he's expecting such a low amount of units to come back across the map, but TLO is going to dart across the map. So I guess with MaNa bringing the Mothership Core, there is the opportunity to recall. We've actually seen MaNa make really good use of recalls in the past, so this might not be so bad, but this 3rd base is not done. He can't recall to it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we quickly defer to the income draft, it does look like TLO has been kicking ass for a while.
Draft?
No, the income draft. G-R-A-P-H.
Draft?
No, that's an animal. What's wrong with you? Are you
Yeah,
having a
giraffe.
stroke?
Are you?
Okay, he has to recall, unfortunately, and that does take away the power of a counter push. But behind this, MaNa's getting 2 disruptors. His immortal count's at a pretty admirable amount, especially having saved the 2 that were across the map. It sucks that his 3rd base isn't down, but I guess it is worth noting that TLO, everything he threw into MaNa and that he's still throwing into MaNa now, is kind of the end of his momentum. These gold bases at the Naz are already pretty much mined out. The 3rd base, already really low in minerals. Without this actual base with blue mineral patches being taken just yet, TLO used up, like, all of that momentum, as you pointed out, didn't really get tech behind it, and now he is almost forced into this, like, brute force situation.
Well, like, this has actually happened a lot of times on Preon Terraces. I feel like it mostly happens when they take the gold base, but, you know, the Protoss, they might get broken, they have, like, 1 or 2 Immortals left over, and then it is, like, you know, them in a fairly desperate situation, but they do bring it back a lot of the time. You know, the Zerg over-dedicates with those roaches. TLO losing all the Ravagers on the escape is actually a pretty big deal. And I still feel pretty confident for MaNa here with his still high immortal counts. He's got disruptors on the way that could really change things up, both favorably and unfavorably.
Yeah, so this is the problem. Disruptors, while not perhaps the biggest gamble unit, they are a very big risk unit. Not only can they kill your own units, I don't expect that to happen, but they could also just simply miss the shots. And if they miss the shot, that really takes away from the Lings and the Hydras and, I mean, whatever Ravagers are in play. Now, it is Lurkers, however, and it's worth noting it will take 2 shots from a Disruptor to kill Lurker. So if TLO spreads them out, it can be a real painstakingly long process for MaNa to clean them up. But if he clumps them up like Guru, it also might just take 3 magical hits. Like,
that's bad. I'm bringing it's true though. Like if he clumps it up, then that's going to be terrible. But Guru almost seems like his style is like get as much economy and then get as many lurkers as possible, and then don't care about the lurkers, which is very like counterintuitive with how expensive and how long it takes to get to lurkers. But it has worked for him in the past. It's not necessarily the worst, but for almost all the other Zergs that we've seen, TLO included, it is more for them about like, you know, siege hopping like you would like tanks and spreading them out and noting. But if you're caught off guard and you don't expect the army to be in the middle of the map, that could have gone poorly. But TLO does split.
MaNa's got to back up, though. He really doesn't have ample detection for this. The lurkers are a little too spread for the Oracle to tag everything. The disruptors on the front line are getting really low. These Immortals might be able to bust through most of this, but not in a situation quite like this. By kiting back, he has whittled away at most of the cannon fodder, taken out a lot of the Ravagers. Now he's got that Revelation down. He can start focusing down the lurkers with those Immortals. 2 disruptors going to come in and get a freebie, but this was a good defensive hold for MaNa. He's up in supply by a fair margin now.
It was a great hold, and yeah, TLO just GG from it.
All right, congratulations to MaNa. He'll make it to the semifinals, where he'll play against the winner of Hydra or Keen. But I hope you like PvZ, because we've got another one pretty much ready to go right now with a laser and showtime in the first semifinals match. So we'll cast that one up first. Gonna update the players to let them know what the prize pool is. As I go back to Matcherino really quick, it is, yep, still sitting at a little over $400 now. As we had Terminator 101 donate $7.69 just to fuck with things. So thank you.
Thank you.
Terminator. We also had a $25 donation come in from Miller Death Jr. I'm sorry that we missed this. The game was pretty intense. So he's a big fan of BaseTradeTV. Can you guys... Oh, wait, this is the same one from earlier. My mistake. I didn't miss it. We nailed it. We even extra advertised it. So, let the players know. Prize pool is now over $400. Hype. So, context in this being 3rd and 4th place prize are worth $40 a piece now, and that's pretty cool to see. 1st place is going to be worth like what, $240? I want to say. I'm actually going to bust out the calculator. I had a good guess last time. Where's my calculator though? 407. That's 6. Yeah, 244. I can't do math, but I'm so good at guessing. So $244 for 1st place ain't too shabby. We're going to go to a small break, though, while we get this lobby set up. We don't want to keep the laser and showtime waiting for too long. So just 2 minutes, guys. We'll be back ASAP.